Jae-myung, who is the president of South Korea, is a leftist, could even be a communist, certainly very pro-China, very pro-North Korea, very anti-US. He won the presidency in a snap election on June 3 after the impeachment and removal of a conservative, Yoon Suk-yeol. What's happened over the course of this century, but especially this decade, is that the leftists, probably with the help of China, have been rigging elections in South Korea. South Korea has a system which is very susceptible to widespread voter fraud. And right now, Yi is moving the country very close into Beijing's camp. This is, we're seeing conservatives on the streets every weekend protesting. This is, most South Koreans are very pro-US, especially these days, but their government is very anti-US. So we could lose South Korea. And this is important for us, for just not only the question of the loss of a democracy. This is important for us because since the 1800s, America has formed its Western defense perimeter off the coast of East Asia. And South Korea, which is at the tip of a peninsula on the mainland, is the anchors are the northern part of that perimeter. So this is important for us. If we lose South Korea, we could very well lose that perimeter. And that means we would be facing the Chinese not in East Asia, but in Hawaii and off our west coast.
Man, it's just so scary because, like you say, they keep throwing out the conservatives. We're seeing it all across South America as well. Again, because of elections that are stolen. It happened here. And it can happen again if things don't get fixed. And it's very scary as far as that's concerned. Now, what does this do to Taiwan?
Well, what happens if we lose South Korea is that Beijing will then start the propaganda narrative that its wave is inevitable, that China dominates the world. They're already saying this, Donna. Now, we Americans, the administration has actually been helping China reinforce that narrative. And the reason is President Trump has a very generous streak. He's given an off-ramp to Vladimir Putin. He's given an off-ramp for Xi Jinping. Neither of them have taken it, and Trump has shown extraordinary patience. Well, the Chinese view that not as generosity, but they view it as an acknowledgement of the U.S. as a weak state. And unfortunately, just a couple days ago, President Trump said that he would go to Chinese soil in the first part of next year, and that Xi Jinping would return the visit, quote, at an appropriate time. The reason why this is significant is because for millennia, this is not just communist diplomacy. This is Chinese diplomacy for 2,000 years. You have the quote-unquote foreigner vassals, the barbarians, coming to the grand Chinese capital to acknowledge the superiority of the Chinese. Now, President Trump, I am sure, doesn't think that he is subordinate to the Chinese. He doesn't think that he is acknowledging their superiority. But unfortunately, what President Trump thinks doesn't really matter that much. And the reason is because this emboldens the Chinese. The Chinese reinforce this propaganda narrative, and people around the world actually buy that Chinese narrative. And therefore, it makes it harder for President Trump to accomplish his goals in other parts of the world because they think that he is on the way out. Now, this is ludicrous, but the point is, it doesn't matter what we Americans think. It matters what the people in the rest of the world think. And this Chinese propaganda is relentless and it is malicious. And by the way, one of the things that President Trump did, which wasn't so great, was to take the legs out of Radio Free Asia, because Radio Free Asia was information warfare defense against China's propaganda assault on us.